relationships, trauma, philosophy, relationships, trauma, philosophy.
That was really good. Carry on. That was so good. That was so.
No, it wasn't. Milo's looking at me like, oh, what on earth are you doing?
Yeah, dogs freak out. Any high-pitched noise, you know, if you've got a dog, they always perk their ears up, don't they?
Yeah, like when I played the violin, which I haven't played in donkeys. I need to play that again, actually.
Yeah, we had to move the bed because the violin was dangerously close to my head.
Yes, it was.
It was right. It's now not above my head anymore, but it was just hanging. I'm like, if that drops, it's going to knock me out.
I've got a funny story. Well, it's not actually that funny, actually. So going back to your last episode with the guy who bought his own car that was stolen.
Oh, yeah.
I got that in lockdown for 20 quid off of someone from Facebook Marketplace, and he seemed very shifty.
You got what for 20 quid?
That violin.
Really?
Yeah, came in a case and everything.
Wow, you got it for £20?
Yeah, it's a really nice violin.
It's incredible you got it for £20.
Yeah, so if you live in Huddersfield and you've had a violin stolen, please let me know. And if you can prove that it's yours, then you can have it back.
Yeah, because retail, what's that? Like,
oh, they'd be like £100. No. Well,
I thought it'd be like 400 quid or something.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't know, to be honest. But yeah, it was 20 quid on Facebook Marketplace, and it was just a young-ish man who just seemed quite shifty and very particular about where we met him. But he said it was because he got nosy neighbours, which I can get that. But no, you can get violins from like £100-ish.
Yeah, I mean, there's some more expensive ones here that are ranging. The sort of average I'm seeing here is about £300, but in the same breath, I've found one here, gear for music for 60 quid.
Gear for music's great.
Oh, right. Well, it's actually £53. So there's a pink one for the same cost. So
Amazon 28.
I think there's anything. I'm sure there's, the violinists out there will say that'll be, not up to scratch,
Yeah.
but you can get anything from. That's shocking. £30. That's amazing. Because you couldn't get like a guitar for 30 quid. No way.
No,
So
probably, you might be able to get one for like 50 quid actually.
I feel like you'd always have to pay at least a few hundred quid for a guitar.
No, you can Team U. Yeah, but Team U's Team U, isn't it?
Team U's dodgy. Yeah, Yamaha 130.
38-inch full-size acoustic guitar. Amazon, free delivery.
How can a classical guitar be £35?
It's obviously not going to be a particularly good one, but at the end of the day, unless you're planning on recording with it,
yeah,
I don't see what difference it makes.
That just shocks me that an instrument that's that big, and I mean, that isn't an easy instrument to make, is it? I would expect a lot of time goes into making that. And because of the way it is, I bet a lot of it is hand made.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not sure. Like, if you could make a guitar with, machinery, I don't know. Like, I know people who make guitars, and it is a real skill. Yeah,
I just feel like, well, the strings, no way, could be a machine. And I doubt it. And also the stem of the guitar, I just don't see how that would have to be.
It's called a neck.
A neck. I feel like that's got to be manually stuck on.
Yeah, I think it's called a neck. I'm double guessing myself now.
Yeah, it'll be a neck.
Fretboard. I know that's the front of it.
Fretboard. So I just can't comprehend a cost of. I'm surprised by the cost of £35.
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe we start an upcycling guitars business. Buy cheap ones, decorate them.
I tell you what, baby, that might not even be that bad of an idea, because I've just found an electric guitar, which I would have thought would be minimum £200, £66.
Yeah.
And it looks nice.
It does, it looks lovely. Comes with all the tools. It comes with picks, jack cable, guitar strap.
I tell you what, that's not a bad idea you've just thrown out there.
Well,
baby.
let's remember it.
We'll have to note that down as a business site. If we understand how we can put like artwork on. What's this part of the guitar called?
The body.
The body of the guitar. So it's just like human body parts then. If we can understand how to stick like a really cool pattern, then well, I guess the easy thing you would straight away do is, brand it as famous artists. So you do like an Ozzy Osbourne one.
Yeah.
So you black it out. You might put Ozzy on it, like some really cool artistic sort of him on there, maybe like with his mouth open, and maybe it has like cool writing Ozzy on it or something. Maybe it's like in his signature. You just print it on so it looks like signed. Like, you can make it sick.
I wonder what the legality would be around that. If we'd have to get copyright permission.
Yeah, you're probably not legally allowed to do. I don't know if it's maybe. I feel like there might be some loophole if it's like artistic.
Yeah. Like, what's funny is when you said like put artists on it, my brain just went Frida Kahlo.
Well, yeah, you just get whoever's
No, but I mean
popular
like
ones.
painting artist rather than music artist is what that's Frida
artists.
Kahlo. Like I feel like you just one eyebrow on the Frida Kahlo.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah.
For anyone, I was going to say for anyone who can't see me right now, which is everyone apart from Scott, I should put my finger up to my eyebrow to indicate Frida Kahlo, one eyebrow.
Yes, because she had a monobrow.
She did have a monobrow. She's such a cool
And she
artist.
wore it very well.
She did, confidently, proudly.
She did, yeah.
Love it. I went about the houses there, but I think what took me onto that was that I was singing opera and we were talking about Milo and how his ears pricked up and that when I play violin he would howl. So sorry about that, but the reason that I started talking about that was because I went to the opera this week for the very first time.
You did.
With my mum and my cousin. My mum had mentioned that she wanted to go, and so for her birthday, my cousin got her tickets and I went along as well. It was in Sheffield City Hall, which is actually a really good venue. I highly recommend that when we start looking at, things that we want to see, checking out if it's on at Sheffield City Hall, because it's really, it's a small venue and you can see really well from all the seats. Because we went to Leeds Grand recently and we had to literally lean over the balcony to be able to see a single quarter of the stage. Whereas City Hall is really clear from all angles. But the opera itself was really cool. It was La Bohème, and it's set in Paris, but it's Italian. And just before I continue to say more about the opera, if you can hear any noise in the background, it's because we are in my family home. There are children here, that's being run, and so on. So apologies if you hear any background noise. I will do my very best to edit it out.
Yeah, we're trying to avoid it. We've been pausing the recording a few times, but there's only so long we can pause it for. So yeah, one day we'll have a recording studio.
One day. I mean, technically we could use the trailer. No, not today, obviously, because it's not here, but
I didn't even think about that. Oh my god, we should so do that.
absolutely.
In the future we'll do it. Yeah.
Why not? So the opera, La Bohème, as I was saying, is an Italian language opera, but it's set in Paris.
Right.
And it's about a group of philosophers, artists, just a group of friends who are living there. It's a love story. It's a bit of a comedy. It's a bit of it's quite tragic, actually. I won't give it away for those who haven't seen it, but it was really impressive. I've never been to the opera before. They had this screen that came down. It looked a bit like, the screen that you sometimes have in a doctor's office, like the old-fashioned one where it pops up and the words move across from right to left, saying who's next.
Oh, I think I've seen that in a show. I think I've had a... Wait, did it have subtitles on?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It had a black screen with white subtitles.
Yeah. Oh, the whole thing was in Italian.
Yeah, the whole thing was in Italian so that we could understand.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's nice of them. They could have easily not done that.
Oh, no, how? Oh, you mean the subtitles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you meant they could have easily not done it in Italian. I'm like, well, they'd have to rewrite the whole thing.
No, that's... Oh, wow. No, that's nice that they did that.
Yeah, it was, because then and at the start it said La Bohème Act 1, and then, it went on. So it was split, there's 4 acts. So there's Act 1, then the staging went black and they reset, then Act 2, then an interval. Then Act 3, then
the theming of the environment change?
Yeah, like originally it was in an apartment and then it was like in the streets of Paris. Does that make sense?
No, it makes, yeah, obviously, yeah. I just really like that about theatres and, any sort of live show. I really like it when the staging, there's been a lot of effort gone into the staging and changing the environment. It really brings me into it.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it was really nice. There was one bit where there was this black and white striped thing, and I thought, oh, it's going to be a zebra. I was like, that's interesting. It wasn't a zebra. It was like a gate.
Oh, right, okay.
Like a
zebra gate.
Yeah, I guess. What else? Yeah. So it was put on by the Ukrainian Operatic and Ballet Society. I think they're called. I will check what their official name is if I've got that wrong. So we thought, in knowing that maybe there was a ballet as well, but there wasn't. So it's like obviously that's just like the larger company does both opera and ballet, but we were seeing the opera, and at the end they sang the Ukrainian national anthem and held up the flag. I was not prepared for that. I was very emotional.
Oh.
It was amazing. Like, and the orchestra was just on the floor at the front of the stalls.
Mm.
So like they weren't dipped or anything. Like they were just on seating level with the people that were sat on the floor. It was real. Like I'd definitely 100% go again to the opera.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what surprised me most was that people didn't dress up for it. Like people were just in jeans and like trackies and like, just.
That surprises me because when we did Les Miserables at the Grand, people were dressed up.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's got something more to do with the fact that it's in a theatre rather than City Hall. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Because I would dress, like...
Just something you kind of naturally dress up for, isn't it?
Yeah, but people definitely weren't, like... Some people were in nice outfits. And in fact, I don't know if I was a bit rude because as we were queuing to go in, you saw what I had on. I had on a dress and then like this little sort of lacy cardigan thing. But it's like, one of them that you have to tie under your bust. It's like not even a full length cardigan, cross between kind of a shawl cardigan type thing. And the woman behind me as we were going in, she sort of tapped me on my shoulder and she's like, oh, excuse me. And she went, I'm really sorry, but can I just tell you something? And like gesture for me to come closer to her.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, what's up? And she said, I think your dress is on inside out. And I looked down and I was like, my dress is not on inside out. It doesn't look like it's on inside out. I was like, well, it's not, but thank you.
Yeah.
She went, oh, because I can just see your tag. And then like she pointed to the cardigan. I was like, oh, right, the cardigan's on inside out. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And I said, thank you.
Okay. That's kind of it.
It was really kind of, and then I felt like, was I a bit, like I wasn't like me.
Yeah.
But like I felt like I was a bit snappy, like, well, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I was also like a little bit irritated about her making a song and dance out of it. Do you know, like if she'd just been like, I just want to let you know your thing's on inside out. But I think, sometimes I get a bit annoyed when things are made into a bigger deal than they need to be. Like, it feels like so dramatised. Like, God, just come here, I've really got to tell you something. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I do get it. In the moment it can be quite irritating, but on paper I think it's quite caring.
Oh, 100% it was caring. I know that she meant it from it, but like I think
because she's trying to do that in private, so
it's really sweet that
give
she's
any
trying to do
embarrassment
that.
if you did have your dress.
But I think because I'm not embarrassed by it, like if I'd have got like straight away as soon as she said, can I just I started like feeling around the back of my skirt. I thought I can see what's happening here. Have I got it tucked into my pants? Because like that I would have been a bit embarrassed about. But yeah, I think when people make a big deal out of something that isn't a big deal, I find it irritating.
I agree.
Which isn't fair because she was being very nice.
But
when she said, I think you're dressing it, well, it's not, but thanks. I didn't say it like that. I didn't say it like that. I said, oh, it's not, but thank you. Anyway.
I don't think you did alright then, yeah.
Yeah. And then when I was like, oh, wait. So I was like, okay, thank you very much. Because it was a cardigan.
No, I'm the same with when I injure myself. And I say injure when I like, if I just trip, which I don't. Or if I, my ankle rolls a little bit. Just something where, or you know, maybe you brush a lamppost or something,
Yeah.
and then you're with a group that everyone has to focus on
Yeah,
it.
like, oh my god, are you okay? Oh, that, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it all focus on it, and then and it's like a conversation point for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're just like, guys, I just clipped a lamppost.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
And I don't like that tension on me and that sort of worry and that sort of...
Yeah.
I just feel like a twat.
I think that's exactly it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just an uncomfortable... like,
It's an a tension and an uncomfortable tension.
Yeah.
I wonder what that is there, yeah. I really resonate with that, actually. Even though it's coming from a place of care, which is interesting, isn't it? Because there's care there, and they're being nice, but we hate it.
Yeah. It's interesting. We maybe need to unpack that and why that is.
Yeah.
Not right now, but
Not
just...
right. We'll ask ChatGPT later.
Well, ChatGPT is very bad for the environment.
Oh, right, okay.
Do you know this?
No, I don't.
It's... I can't remember how much water it takes. So it takes a lot... Because
Water?
of like this... Yeah, to cool down the servers. In fact, asking ChatGPT to write one email is the equivalent of pouring out a bottle of water or powering 14 light bulbs for 1 hour.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't it?
A litre of water?
Oh, it said one bottle. I don't know how big the
One
bottle
bottle.
is.
Well, either way, that's insane that it'll be a bottle of water.
Isn't it? But also, there's a lot of water involved because of, like, the servers where ChatGPT are, because it takes that much energy to generate this information or, like, images, whatever it's doing. It takes a lot of water to cool them down. Like, they have to cool these servers down. So it's way, way, way worse than a Google search. Which there is actually, I think it's called Ecosia, is a search engine that plants trees and is, like, more eco-friendly than Google.
Oh.
So maybe I need to switch, actually. I used to have it. I don't know how I do it.
Ecosia. Just put it as your default.
I will.
And you'll naturally use it.
Let's, yes. I mean, do you know what? I'm going to try and tag him into this podcast. If Scott can make a note about that, and we'll link him, and then hopefully people will sign up for it. Well, I say sign up, you don't need to sign up, but just use Ecosia.
Just make it as your default browser, Ecosia. I for the longest time I used DuckDuckGo, which is I mean, it's ethical. It's more ethical because it basically doesn't track as many. Doesn't track your cookies. Doesn't track your history. Doesn't track. It's just more of a secure search engine. And also, if you choose the settings, it doesn't it doesn't keep your information to be able to suggest things to you. So it means that you have to prompt it a bit more with search engines because it doesn't know you as much because it doesn't save it. But yeah, from a security point of view, it's good.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So
That's insane, 1 bottle of water for an email creation.
it is, and it has really made me think about it because I feel like we all now rely on ChatGPT. And I actually saw a video recently that said, like, they asked ChatGPT, what would, if you were to take over the world, what would it look like? And, like, the initial steps was become so convenient and helpful that the world relies on me. I'm like, well, step 1 done.
Step 1 is, it's not far off from being achieved.
And it's become now, like, you know when people say Google it? Like, you know, like, there's the whole thing of, like, you know, use a Kleenex or Hoover up. These are all, like, Hoover's a brand. It's not the vacuum cleaner is the item. Google, if you Google something, you're searching for it on a search engine. Even if it's not Google, you say Google. So, like, I think the ChatGPT now has become that. Like, I think we just say, you know, instead of even saying that I Googled it, we're now saying I ChatGPT'd it, and this is what came out of it. You know, it's become so
exactly
entrenched in our day-to-day lives that I do think that we are too reliant on it.
It's scary, but I use it for everything. The way I operate in life is I buy things that make me more comfortable and make life easier, and ChatGPT makes things easier. Therefore, I use it. So
Yeah.
It's, yeah, good and bad. Lots to unpack.
Yeah. It is.
So that's, yeah. So, I mean, well, bad really, isn't it? And we were going to probably unpack a couple more stories and more into that, but there's so much noise around us right now, we kind of need to wrap this up in our segments, don't we? But let us know what you think about that. I'm a supporter of the AI chatbots, these GPTs of the world. I think they're very exciting, they're helping us in many ways, but I don't neglect that there's also negatives to it, and there'll be many more that will arise through other innovative technologies that AI supports with. So, yeah, but we're definitely in the race now, and I think we're in a position now where it's not going to stop because we're not in control of it anymore. It's the big, it's the big companies, and it's up to them whether they want to. Well, they've started the race, and now it's countries against countries, companies within these companies, and within these countries, and they're not going to stop.
No.
And the demand is going to carry on. So we've got to kind of accept it started, and it's going to get more, and just roll with it, embrace the positives, and try to steer away from the negatives.
I feel like it will be this generation's major advancement. Like, I think it's going to be as revolutionary as the car.
Yeah.
Like how people would have been afraid
said.
of that at the time. Like to go to a machine rather than a horse.
Yeah.
That would have seemed insane. How can you rely on this thing? How can you trust that it's going to be safe? And so on. And I think, as revolutionary as the electricity or the internet, mobile phones, like I think when they were created, I think that people would have been apprehensive about that as well. Mm-hmm. So it's, I think it's understandable that we have our concerns now, and that it seems like this scary. Well, I guess for most people it's an exciting thing. I think for me it's a little bit scary, but yeah, I think it's just going to be like this generation's big push forward.
Yeah.
And,
totally
we already know about things where AI can detect cancers and things like that. Like, I think
Yeah.
it can be an incredible... Like, there'll be a time that comes where we'll be like, how... Like, now we say, how do we live without the internet?
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy. I think it's segment time, my darling. Every week the world gets a little weirder. Let's talk about the strangest thing that went down this week. And I do have a strange one for you today. A man... Don't look at it.
Sorry, I'm not reading
that
it.
Spoils the discussion. A man was so obsessed with firefighters.
Right.
He was so obsessed with them that he set his own house on fire.
Oh my God.
Because he wanted to just see them in action and just see, them at work, because he was just so obsessed by firefighters. He didn't set his house on fire once. He set his house on fire twice, just to call them out so then they could come. And I've seen a photo of his house. The whole thing's gone lit. Like, I thought maybe he just set a room alight. I think it's like gone out of control because the whole house looks fucked. So he just ruined his house. But his name's James Brown from Northumberland. This is all on the article. And he's just obsessed with firefighters. And in the previous year, he had called them 80 times. What for, I don't know. Because obviously it wouldn't have been reporting for fires.
Just probably to talk to a firefighter, or I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
probably
think they'll put you through to the station, like. But...
Yeah, he's probably just asking them questions and stuff. So the first fire, he claimed that his sparks, I don't know, he created some sparks from the electric meter. And then the second fire, he just set his bedding on fire. And obviously the firefighters are pretty good. I don't know how they do it, but they're pretty good at finding the causer of the fire.
Oh, yeah.
And I never understand how they do that, but they always seem to figure it out. And obviously combined with this obsession that they clearly will be aware of this guy, And apparently he was filming them as he was at the house, like grinning, like filming them. Oh my god, they're putting out the fire. He's obviously just very likes it. Anyway, he actually did plead guilty to 2 counts of arson on his own house, and he's received an 8-month suspended sentence and 150 hours of unpaid work. When I read unpaid work, I'm just guessing that's community work.
Yeah.
150 hours is a lot of hours. So community work. And what's a suspended sentence?
A suspended sentence is when you get given an amount of time that you would spend in prison. So 8 months is what he would spend in prison. Wait, hang on. So I'm not sure if the suspended part lasts for 8 months or that's the amount of time that he would go to prison. But basically it means if you reoffend within a certain time period, then you will go to jail. So it's usually for if he reoffended within a certain time period, then he would go to prison.
Gotcha. So if he, sets any more fires.
Yeah.
So luckily he did his own house, not someone else's.
Why would he not, surely, if you're that desperate to be around, just hang around by, and I'm not advocating for this, but if he hung around by the station, then when they get the blue lights on, they go, just follow him.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make, more sense.
Although they can go a lot faster, so you need maybe have to break a few.
Yeah, it's just, interesting. I can see why you'd be very, I can understand why you'd be, have quite a passion for firefighting or be quite obsessive. I can understand why that could be an interest of someone, but taken too far in my eyes there.
Absolutely.
Taken too far.
But it's a very unique story. I enjoyed that, thank you.
There we go. I bring the strange WTF stories of the week.
You do, absolutely. Well, let's take a break from all of that chaos. And here's something to make you smile this week. A tortoise who went missing out of his garden because the owners had just had their second child and briefly, they got the tortoise out of the garden and he wandered off, sadly, so they presumed him dead, of course. But he travelled a mile from their home and hibernated for 9 months.
Wow.
And then was found.
As if he was found.
I know, by a dog walker, and was reunited with his family, Leonardo, the tortoise.
Interesting, because that new film's called Leo. I don't know if it's short for Leonardo, and that's about a tortoise.
Yeah.
It's a good film, actually.
Wait, isn't it a lizard?
Isn't it like a lizard, yeah. Got that wrong. But his friend's a tortoise. Then. There's a tortoise
Adam
in it.
Sandler in it, I think.
Yeah, there is a tortoise in it. Yeah,
It's
Leo,
a sweet
sorry,
film.
it's the lizard, yeah.
Leo the lizard. But yeah, I'm guessing Leonardo is in the Ninja Turtle.
Gotcha.
That is my guess. But yeah, so really happy that Leonardo was reunited with his family, and hopefully they'll keep a close eye on him. I wouldn't have thought that a tortoise, I always confuse the two. I wouldn't have thought that a tortoise could run away from home, but this one did.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect, I guess maybe they had it out in the garden, maybe for a bit. I know people would do that. And
yeah, so they had it out in the garden.
Oh, okay.
And they just had a second child, so they were distracted and I guess went inside briefly, came back out, and the tortoise was gone.
Oh. That's wild. He survived, hibernated, and came back.
Yeah.
Go these animals, and if you were here for some episodes back, a dachshund also survived the outback. So looks like unsuspecting animals, pets.
Yeah, they don't really need us, I think.
Yeah, it just shows they
everyone
don't.
thinks, these... one of the arguments against veganism is, what would the cows do without us? Live a lot longer.
Yeah, live longer, exactly.
Live 20 years longer.
Exactly.
They don't need us to survive. They don't need us for anything.
Exactly.
Except to leave them alone.
We just the ones that have been super domesticated, they're the ones that we fucked up.
Yeah.
But the other ones, they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
We could phase it out pretty quickly.
We could, there's some philosophers some animal rights philosophers argue about, reverse domesticating animals.
Yeah, that would be. I think that'd be a. I think that would have to be done for things like cows, and I think sheep are pretty. I find sheep, no matter how much we domesticate them, they seem to always just survive.
Yeah.
Like you'll always find them on the moors.
Yeah, they
and
just
they're just like
escape and
they're like yeah, when they escape and they're totally fine.
Yeah.
So I feel like sheep they're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, there'd be some that are being heavily domesticated and would need a bit more support. But
Well, even it's
Like
some
dogs.
philosophers argue, that dogs
Yeah.
should be
like
that we should take care of the pets that we've got now, but we should work at rewilding them.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I think if you were to do that of all these pre-owned dogs and everything, I think you would have to create like a part of the world for those dogs, because surely if you just put them into the world, they're just going to get devoured.
I don't know, like in Bali, they just seem to thrive, don't
They
they?
do thrive,
I mean, they're still
actually.
domesticated because they don't fear humans, and they're like will have human friends and stuff.
In the same breath, I would not like a load of stray dogs. So
Yeah.
I would want, with respect, all these dogs to be dropped off on an island, or put in a space where they can thrive and be happy, but not be near cities. Because if we just suddenly said all dogs are going to be now put out and just out in the world, suddenly the UK is just going to have a shit ton of stray dogs.
I know, and then you just want to take them in, wouldn't you? Like
You
it
just
does
want
say
to
it'd
take
be
them in, yeah.
you
And,
would. I mean, I don't agree. Like,
and it just wouldn't feel good just to have a load of stray dogs. That tends to... I don't want to live in a country with a load of stray dogs.
Yeah, it made me sad. I'd want to take them all in and look after
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So maybe we don't rewild dogs. Maybe we just
No, rewild them just in a safe way. Get them away
humans.
from people and give them
Yeah,
a land where maybe there is groups on there that, maintain them and make sure they're healthy and...
but that's
You know-
still domesticated then, isn't it?
No, but I'm talking like... No, I'm not talking... I mean, like safaris, for example. So, for example, like... they let a lot of the wildebeest out, but they do track some to keep them healthy, and they do fence some areas off for safety. Like, I mean that style. I don't mean cage them. I don't mean see them every day. But I mean, if you're suddenly gonna drop, I don't know, 500,000 dogs in one place,
Yeah,
I feel like there should be some group that should be doing some work to just
Yeah.
making sure they don't just kill each other.
yeah,
Like, so there has to be some sort of, training and for them to learn each other, and over time it'll be less and less and less
yeah.
to the point where they'll just monitor them.
Yeah.
Won't help them, won't feed them, won't anything. We'll just have some track to monitor them, make sure just the health is good, and
Yeah.
yeah.
We're saying all this looking at my gorgeous little puppy dog
Yeah.
on the end of the bed, all curled up on my pajamas.
He does that. He always goes to your... Whenever you leave, he finds a piece of your clothing and he'll lie straight on it.
Breaks my heart.
He did it the other day. You
Oh,
were gone not
God,
5
that breaks my
minutes.
heart.
And he'd moved. He was already on the bed for ages, but then he'd moved to sit on your pyjamas.
Oh, he's just my baby.
Yeah.
And I love him so much.
He loves you.
He does.
Well, what a positive end.
It was a positive end. I feel like it's your episode, isn't it?
I believe so. So I guess I'll kick off the outro. Another adventure wrapped up.
But the journey never ends.
Keep your bags packed for the next one. And remember, when in doubt, just say,
Yalla
Yalla Habibi. See you next time.